Musicians, have you wondered why your social media marketing is just not working out the way that you hoped it would? See, a lot of musicians think that they know the real purpose of social media. They've been told this by gurus on the internet and all this kind of crazy stuff, right? They've been told what social media allegedly is. But what if social media has evolved and it's changed? And in fact, it's not even really social media anymore. Let me explain. Social media was this idea that you collect followers, and then when you have followers, when you make a post, it would go to those followers. Well, that started to overwhelm the algorithm. So what did they do? They created this little filter where it's like, okay, you build up your audience to 1,000 followers. We're going to send that post out to like 5-10% of them. And if they engage with it, then we'll send it to the rest of your followers. And a lot of musicians are still operating from that outdated assumption, like that's how the algorithm works. That is not how the algorithm works anymore, right? So that's what I'm saying. A lot of musicians think they know how social media works, but it's changed silently in the background. And now they're looking at it the complete opposite way. So in today's video, I want to share with you the exact way that social media works, what the purpose of it is, and how you can understand marketing as a musician on a more foundational level. And it's a lot simpler than people make it out to be. I know people like to make complicated, videos about these kind of topics. I want to simplify it for you today in this video. So stay locked in. We're going to go deeper now on the topic of social media. How do we actually do it the right way as opposed to the wrong way? So like I mentioned, we're operating, a lot of us, 90% of us, are operating from this old outdated assumption that social media involves followers and a percentage of the followers getting the post. That doesn't work anymore like that. The way that the algorithm has moved is it's moved into the direction of interest-based media. Okay, so it used to be social media. Let me socialize with my friends and them see what I, ate for dinner or whatever. But that's moved away from social media into interest-based media. Now, granted, we still call these things social media platforms because that's a term that's been grandfathered in, but that's not a descriptive of what it actually is. Sure, I can see posts from different people in my society. I guess you could call that social in some kind of sense. But the algorithm is designed to study your behavior on an app. Same with your fans. It's studying the behavior of your fans and yourself as you engage with the app. Now, as you engage with the app, it's trying to learn what content keeps you around. Okay? Now, sometimes the content that keeps you around is the people that you follow. And there's this little correlation where you're like, oh, I followed this person. They're showing up a bunch in my feed. So that must still be working from the old social media way, right? No, it's a mirage. What's happening is you followed someone, but you're also engaging with their content. And so the algorithm is paying less attention to the fact that you followed them and paying more attention to the fact that you stuck around on the video. So if someone you follow posts and you consume a good chunk of their video, the algorithm will say, you must really like that person, and it'll send you more of that person. And so people get this mistaken idea. They're like, oh yeah, I'm getting shown my followers because I followed them. No. You're getting showed the people that you're following because you're engaging with the content. So we're drawing a false conclusion based on the result, right? The real conclusion is, oh, I'm staying on the video longer. That's why the platform keeps showing me that. So how does that pertain to you when you're trying to reach your fans? Well, the point here then is not to create this kind of fast and loose content that gets people to follow, but it's getting people to consume more of the content, okay? And that shift in the algorithm alone has made a ginormous impact on how we market. Because it used to be one of those things that I would make a couple of posts here and there to try and widen the net, get more followers. And then once I got more followers, I could just make posts serving those followers and then maybe make another post every now and then to try to widen the net again and then bring them in. Well, it's pretty much exclusively become to where if you're posting short form video content, it's only trying to widen your net. Okay? So if you're creating content designed for people that are your followers, but the algorithm is sending it out to people who are not your followers because they're trying to cast a wider net for you, then there's a mismatch, right? You're trying to speak to people as if they already know who you are and they already like you, but the algorithm's sending it to people who don't know who you are and have never heard of you before. So it doesn't resonate. People are like, why do I care? Scroll. So we have to think about it like this. In marketing, There's actually 3 pillars that build up this trifecta of what marketing really is. And again, this comes from actually legendary direct response marketers like Gary Halbert and John Carlton, who I was lucky enough to have on the channel. So you can go watch the interview with John Carlton if you want to go check that out. But one of the biggest things that we need to understand is that we can actually divide this into just 3 chunks. And if you understand these 3 pillars of your marketing, it makes you see things a lot clearer, because you're not just looking at things from the inside and you're stuck in the weeds and you can't really see the forest from the trees. Instead, we're going to get you a little bit higher altitude so you can see how this is operating, okay? So for your, this is sort of relevant to social media marketing, but it's more marketing generally speaking, okay? So if we don't understand this, we're going to be looking at social media from this lens that's outdated and doesn't even work anymore. So the first thing that we need to understand is that you need to have a product. I know I said the P word. I said the P word, I'm sorry. Every musician loves to hear the word product in relationship to their music career. Now, there's a lot of things that people like to say. There's a lot of woo-woo, like, you're the product. That's a really cool idea, but that's not really tangibly based in reality. People like to say, okay, well, then the music's the product. I would disagree with that too. I mean, the music can be a product. You can create a vinyl or a cassette or a CD and potentially sell that. That's one way to sell the music, but that's not the main product that people buy from musicians anymore. It's just not. Why? Because it's available on YouTube for free, and it's available on Spotify for free with that. So I'm just saying, music isn't the product either. So we sit around and we say things, and there's interviews of, artists need to understand that they're the product. They're the product. And that doesn't, that makes sense from a philosophical perspective, but in a practicality, real world, no BS perspective, doesn't make any sense. So what is the actual reality? What is the product? The product has to be a tangible thing. It has to be the tangible thing that they are going to get in response to helping you, okay? Now think about this for a second. When we're doing our social media marketing, what is the tangible thing that we're delivering? It's kind of hard to describe, isn't it? Right? So it's really less tangible on social media. And again, this is why people misunderstand the purpose of social media. They think, okay, I'm going to get on social media and I'm going to talk about my product. So they're either talking about themselves because they think they're the product, or they're talking about the music because they think the music's the product. And at the end, they're trying to sell that. Okay, first, no. Do not sell on social media. Please. Don't sell on social media. Unless you're paying for an advertisement, don't sell on social media. If you're doing organic stuff, do organic stuff. And if you when I say sell, you could potentially drive them places. Hey, you want to join my Instagram close friends list? You want to join my Facebook group? You want to join my email list? There's ways that you can get people to engage, right? But what's the product? What's the tangible thing that they're getting? In social media, there really is none, because it's just an attention level of our business. Social media is designed at what we call top of funnel, which just means it's there for awareness, okay, and interest. So you build up awareness and you build up interest with the social media, but the tangible thing that gets delivered to them is not the content, is not social media. The tangible thing that gets delivered is a layer below that, okay? So you have to understand it's not just like, oh, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to sell something on social media, or I'm going to talk about something on social media. It's going to be great. We need to view social media as like a station that we're trying to get people out of so that we can get them into the real vehicle that's going to help them support us, okay? So I like to use this analogy of a delivery system, okay? So this is the second thing that we need. We understand, okay, I need to know what my product is. And we know that it certainly ain't content. I'm going to go back to this in just a second. If you're like, what was the product? Don't worry, I'm coming back to it. Then we have the delivery system. Think about it like this. If your product is like an intercontinental ballistic missile, an ICB, right? Your marketing is the delivery system, okay? What is the delivery system? Social media can be a delivery system of your marketing, sure. But the type of marketing that you deliver on your social media is what? Awareness and interest-based content, You're trying to get people aware of you. You're trying to get people interested in you. So the really only tangible thing that you can get from that is like a comment, a follow. Maybe you can DM them. That's probably the best route. But social media doesn't have that tangibility that we need. So what that means for you is you need to take people from social media, like they're at this like station, and you need to get them into the vehicle that actually gets them on the path to support. In my opinion, there's two that are your best bets: your email list and your text SMS list. It really kind of depends on the genre and what you're doing. Like if you're a live performing gigging musician, I really like the text SMS list because it's a great way to directly contact somebody about a show that's in their area. If you don't play shows, I like the email list better. I kind of like the email list better, generally speaking. It's a little bit more diverse in its use cases. You can use email for many different aspects of your business. But I think that's what's really important about this is that you have a delivery system like email that delivers the product to somebody, right? So again, you understand why now that social media doesn't quite work out for us in our marketing is because a part of marketing is delivering a product to somebody. Well, there ain't really a product to deliver anybody on social media. However, if we look at email, I can come up with a product. I can say like, okay, I'm going to have them pre-order this new t-shirt design that I want to build, but I don't want to pay for the manufacturing costs, so I have them pre-order it. So what you can do, you know your product, you have a good killer product, then you figure out what's going to be my delivery system. Okay, the email list is going to be my delivery mechanism. That's how I'm going to get the product in front of, into the hands of that person, okay? Or at least in front of them, right? But then there's the third part of this equation, which is the pitch. Again, I said the P word again. It's a different P word, but it's still a P word. No, a pitch. Now, a lot of musicians think that I'm going to recommend you be like Billy Mays and you hop on there and you tuck your shirt into the, hi, Alex, they clean. And no, that's not what I'm saying that you got to do. In my opinion, musicians do not have to pitch as much as any other industry. Because think about this. If we zoom out marketing-wise of any business, they have a product, they have the delivery mechanism, right? And they have to work really hard in this third aspect, which is the pitch. They have to work really hard to get that customer to be like, yeah, I'm really into this, and boom, they buy. There's a trust that has to be built. With musicians, our music does a lot of the trust building. Our music does a lot of the bond building. So if we come out of the gates super hard selling like Billy Mays, it's unnecessary. It's like you're working too hard. It's like what B.B. King said to Stevie Ray Vaughan, I think it was, right? Like, what kind of gauge strings do you use? And he's like 13. He's like, why are you working so hard? Like, I think that's the kind of thing that we need to understand is so music pre-frames and warms up the people so that you don't have to sell as hard. So when you pitch, don't be like Billy Mays. Be like the reluctant hero. You're the person that's kind of like, again, you don't want to downplay or diminish your product that you're selling to your fans, whether that's a t-shirt bundle, a fan club. I did a video recently on the 4 best offers that every musician should master. So you want to figure out, okay, I'm going to get this to you, but when I'm getting to you, I'm not going to like shove down your throat and be like, you got to buy this right now. It's going to go away in 5 minutes or else you buy it right now. Don't do that. Be the reluctant hero. Be the person that's like, being a musician is really difficult. And, I typically just want to play my music and hang out. But one of the things that's absolutely the best way that fans have found to support so that more music that you love gets made is that you take the time to, get this bundle, get this whatever. Take the opportunity to support me with this particular thing. Now, the positioning of that is very laid back. You're not like aggressively putting pressure on them. You're just letting them know like, listen, this is just how it is. If I could just be the guy that sat in my room and played music all day, I would, but I got to get on this email list and I got to ask you guys, to do this. Now, if you do it too much, I'm kind of being dramatic just so you get the point, but if you do that too much, then you lean into like diminishing your product. Like, I didn't even want to do this, so I just kind of like threw something together or whatever. You have to come at it from the perspective of like, I didn't really want to get into this business to like sell t-shirts, but I was figuring like if my fans want t-shirts, I might as well make the best freaking t-shirts I can make for you guys. So I put together this design and I really hope you guys dig it. You can get your pre-orders right now. Notice that the positioning of that, I'm still selling, but the positioning is reluctant hero. You want to use old school sales tactics, right? And some of you are like, Dax, I don't know any old school sales tactics. I'm a musician. Well, that's why you're on this channel, isn't it? So what you do when you're trying to use old school sales tactics is you're trying to create urgency, a need to buy, a solution to a particular problem that the product that you're selling them will provide. Now, I know a lot of musicians, we get stuck in this a lot. We go, well, what's the solution that I solve? Like, I get how an exterminator can solve the problem of I've got bugs in my garage, but what problem does a musician solve? They're more abstract emotional problems. Maybe the problem that your music solves is that they need a place to escape from their terrible job. So when they pop in their earbuds, they need some music they can escape into. Maybe that's the problem that you solve. Maybe the problem is it's winter and they need a really cool hoodie with your design on it. You know, maybe it's the summer and they need that package where it's the flip-flops, the shorts, and the tank top. You know, they need the whole summer get-up because all they have are black t-shirts and black hoodies from winter and they're going to sweat to death in the Arizona heat. You know, like, what is it that your product is solving? Because your music solves emotional problems, but the products we sell around our brand solve in particular utilitarian problems. So I'll give you an example. When I'm at my merch table selling things, one of my favorite things to sell in the world is a drawstring bag. Why sell a drawstring bag, Dax? Because it has utility and solves a problem. Some fans would like to buy more merchandise, but two problems. One, they don't have enough money. They ran out of money. Or the bigger problem, they don't have enough room to carry it in all their pockets. Even if they got the cargo shorts on, they still don't have enough pockets to carry all the merchandise they'd like to buy. But when you sell a bag, you have now opened up the real estate to which they can fill with more merchandise, including yours. So what we like to do is we sell a drawstring bag so that it's like, oh, hey, do you want to stop carrying your poster around tonight and put it in a bag so you can just relax and have a good show? We'll pick up the drawstring bag. Now, what we can also do is be like, hey, we've got a bundle where you get a t-shirt, a drawstring bag, a poster, a wristband, and a sticker for $45. And then you can just put all of that in the drawstring bag. And in either case, it sells like gangbusters. Why? Because it's solving a problem, right? And notice my pitch around it isn't like, this is so amazing, this is the most comfy drawstring bag you've ever had in your life, and this poster is made from matte, but we're not doing all that. No, we're saying, oh yeah, I always hate carrying stuff in my pockets around and my stuff gets all bent up and crinkled. Would you rather just have a drawstring bag where you can like comfortably put it in there so it doesn't get damaged? None of that was about me. None of that was about me or my ego. It was all about them and solving their problem, okay? And that was my pitch. You see how simple the pitch is? People think of a pitch as being like this super scripted, long thing. No. Sometimes my pitch is a sentence long. Someone comes up and they're like, this CD's really cool. They look at the shirt, they look at the CD, they look at the shirt, they look at the CD, and they go, I'll pick up a CD. Will you guys sign it for me? And we're like, yeah, we actually have a special going on right now where if you get a t-shirt, the CDs are free and we'll still sign it for you. And then we would have people go, oh yeah, well then get me a shirt and then yeah, you guys can sign this? Awesome. So we took them from a $5 sale to a $30 sale and then just gave away the CD. I'm happy to give away the CD. It only cost me like $2.50 to make, right? And then, okay, so I lose $2.50. I made $27.50 instead of making $5. You see what I'm saying? So the pitch there was a sentence long. Hey, well, if you want to get that for free, you can get that for free if you buy a t-shirt today. Oh, sure, well, give me a t-shirt then and I'll get this for free. It's a sentence long. People think a pitch has to be this thing. Like, granted, sometimes it can be, but it doesn't have to be. So let's kind of zoom out. Let's go back into this again. I know I've been going into some deep technical stuff here. You have the product. You have the actual tangible thing that you're going to be given to someone. So let's say we're going to use my extra crispy combo. That is what we call it, by the way. My extra crispy combo that I sell at my live shows. We're going to use that as the product example, okay? So my product is this merch bundle that has a t-shirt that they pick, a poster, a drawstring bag, a wristband, and a sticker, okay? It's a big old bundle, right? So that's the product that I've got for them, okay? Then you have the delivery mechanism. How am I going to deliver this product to the fan so that they are aware of it and want to actually purchase it? Should I use social media? No! Do not use social media. Social media is the vacuum that sucks people down into the email list and the text SMS list where you can deliver your products. Don't deliver your products on social media. Don't try to pitch on social media, okay? So a lot of musicians, they need to understand the purpose of social media is to build people who will join your email list, not just followers, because remember, followers are useless unless they're consuming the content. If you have people that follow you but don't consume the content, they'll never get your content. Because whether they're following you or not is not the deciding factor of whether you pop up in their For You feed. Okay? Now, if if they're following you and they're in your like friends list, then sure, then you might pop up there. But in the For You feed, unless they're engaging with your content, it ain't going to their feed. All right? So a follower is useless unless they're engaging. So what do? When I get a new follower, I know there's going to be a period of time where they're like, oh, this is cool, and then they're going to forget about me. So in that window of time where they think I'm cool, I'm going to DM them, and I'm going to build rapport with them, and I'm going to try to get them off platform. Okay, so just if it wasn't clear enough through this video, that is the purpose of social media, is to get people off platform and into your email list. So that's the purpose of social media. Because if you have a product and you're trying to present it on social media, it's not going to work out very well. You need to have a ginormous following for the number arbitrage to actually make any kind of mathematical sense, right? You have to have like 1 million followers. So the delivery system, the best ones are email and text SMS. So, okay, I've got a good killer product like the Extra Crispy Combo. I've got the delivery mechanism, which is the email, okay? And then I've got the pitch. How do I actually present this offer to somebody so that they want to buy it? They want to support me and they want the benefits that owning this merch bundle will bring them, okay? You tired of your hands getting cold when you're drinking beers out in the southern sun? Well, pick up this koozie. You know what I'm saying? Like, figure out what the benefits are of them having it. But again, you understood this process. Let me zoom out one more time. Notice, product, delivery, pitch. Product, what is it? How am I going to deliver it? And then what is the pitch that I'm going to put around it so when I deliver it, they want to actually buy or they want to actually join my email list. They actually want to follow or do whatever you're trying to get them to do, right? But you have to figure out how you're going to pitch it. Use old school sales tactics. I think old school sales tactics are awesome because they still work because they're based on human behavioral psychology. So if you can just study those things, it makes selling a lot easier. A lot of people overdo selling because they don't know how to sell, right? Because they don't know how to sell, they start getting all hypey. Well, I'll tell you right now, in this day and age, hypey kills sales. You know, I'm just extroverted by nature, so this is just how I talk in general. But hype about a product generally doesn't transfer emotion like it used to. You know, people used to say like, oh, the whole point of like being excited about your product is that it transfers that excitement to the other person. If they agree with you. But if they don't yet agree with you, then they're going to take that hype and excitement as like, oh, they're trying to sell me something. Resistance, guards up, right? But if you come at it from this reluctant hero perspective of like, hey, you've been digging the music, you know, I've been putting together something for all the fans to help really make sure that I can put out more music this year. Because right now, you've gotten all the music you're going to get for the year. But I want to make sure that I put out more music this year. So here's the best way to go support me so that I can put out another song in the next month. You see the benefits there? You see how that works on email. It don't work on social media quite like that. You see what I'm saying? So this is why I say people have been using social media wrong. They've been using social media wrong because they're using it as a way to try and like build the audience, sell the audience, do every possible business thing on social media. That's not what it's for. It's for building attention, awareness, and interest. After that, the desire to buy something from you, the actual action they take to buy something from you, That happens layers lower in the funnel, like the email list or the text SMS list. So, purpose of social media, get them into that list. And if you understand how marketing works, there's a product, there's a way that I deliver that product, and then there's the wrapping, the pitch that I put the product in so that they want to open up the present. Right? That's fundamentally marketing in a 3-part nutshell. Now, granted, we could go deep on each of those topics. I could make a whole video, and I have, of the different offers and products that you can create. In fact, I picked the 4 best ones in my previous video, I believe it was, the 4 best revenue streams that you should focus on. Then, on top of that, you've got the next layer of things. You've got the delivery system. We could go into all the different delivery systems and how you deliver it and all that. But you understand now the principle. You understand the framework, hopefully, of create a great product. Now, this is going to end on this. This is going to be one of the most important things I tell you in this video. So thank you for sticking it out to the end if you've made it this far, which is you can't multiply zeros. So if you have the pitch is a 10, the delivery mechanism is a perfect 10, but the product is a 0, well, 0 times 10 times 10 equals 0. Okay? So if you don't get the product part figured out, then it really is going to negatively affect everything else, right? We've got to get the product thing down. So one little bonus tip that you could do is do a survey. Ask your audience what they would like to buy. Ask your audience what's the thing they want you to sell. Granted, don't say things like, would this be cool? Does this look cool? Because they could say, yeah, it looks cool. And then you go, well, are you going to buy it? And they go, no. So you need to ask the questions, what is something that you would buy from me? What is something that you guys want me to make for you? Because that has a different position, right? Hey, what do you guys, is this cool? Well, someone could be like, yeah, it's cool, whatever. And they don't really care. But if I'm like, hey, would you put your credit card down and buy this because it's so cool? If they say yes, then you know that you've got something worth selling because they said, yes, I would buy it, not, yeah, it's cool, right? So do a survey and ask them what they would like you to sell. What would they like to buy from you? What would make their life cooler if they had a branded version of it for them? Like if they're a gamer, would their life be better if they had like a branded keyboard cover for their gaming? Would it be better if they had a branded pillow or a game controller or a sticker that they can put on their game controller? I don't know. Like, what is something that serves your dream fan that you can do that actually, they're like, oh, that actually makes my life better. That's really cool. I would like that. How do you figure that out? You ask them. It's pretty simple. If you don't know from past data, then get some data by asking people. Then you can start selling from, your best foot forward as opposed to just assuming like, oh, hopefully this works, maybe, So hopefully you guys have gotten a lot of value from today's video, understanding that social media is not the place that you pitch your product. It's not the place that you try to deliver this fancy thing because it's interest-based media now. So the reason that you use social media is to create content that gets people aware of you and interested in you, and then you do the action to move them off platform, okay? But if you're not doing that second part, to move them off platform, and they're just staying on social media, not doing anything, eventually that person will lose their heat and interest in you. You will lose your ability to reach them from the algorithm kind of just separating y'all, and the likelihood that they'll actually stick around as a fan drops exponentially. But if as soon as you get their interest on social media, you've got a way to get them offline, and you've got a product, a delivery mechanism, and a pitch that's pretty good, then you can start to build a sustainable music business. And social media can help you do that, but it's not the end-all solution. So if you got some value out of today's video, hit the subscribe button, the like button, the notification bell, all the good kind of YouTube-y stuff. If you'd like a one-on-one call so I can help you implement the second part of this process where you're actually going out, you're reaching out to fans, getting them into the email list, figuring out what to sell them, how to sell them, all that kind of good stuff, click the link that's in the description to set up a one-on-one free call to see if I could help you implement that in your music business. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you guys on another video inside of Musicians Ignite. Take care.